Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let me welcome you here once again to the Saint Lucia High Commission premises. Before I go any further, let me acknowledge the presence of Mr. Thaddeus Antoine, the chair of the Saint Lucia Tourism Authority, and his team. You know, this is World Travel Market Week, and so the Saint Lucia Tourism Authority is here in full force. The minister isn't here, but I know that the team is doing a great job in representing Saint Lucia. This evening, we have what we like to refer to as an intimate evening with Julien Alfred. Julian is here performing her tourism ambassadorial duties, and we thought it would be a good opportunity to have her to meet with some of you, not everybody. There are a few of you who in sports, athletics, in the creative industry, in various fields, and we thought you would make a good group to meet Julian tonight. But what we have done is that we want to move away from the usual meet and greet, where she'll be walking around and chatting, speaking about things that are not necessarily important. We also thought that we did not want to have a focus on the athlete. There's too much, not that it's too much, but there's quite a lot of that. And we know there's a lot more to Julien Alfred. So we thought we would have an interview and conversation with her. And a conversation which would go into the real Julien Alfred. What makes her tick? What drives her? The ambitions that she has beyond athletics. And so we're going to engage this evening. There will be a short conversation, fireside chat conversation, following which we would open the floor to a few questions from yourselves. And so, without further ado, I want to invite Julian and the person who will be doing the interview, who is a member of our staff, Miss Angela St. Denis, to the fireplace. And it is really now the dynamic works. I am no longer involved, and so the process will start. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, High Commissioner. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not hearing. Are there people in the room? Good evening. How is everybody doing this evening? Okay, wonderful. It's good to see all of you here tonight. And tonight we have the opportunity to hear from Julian, the person. So we have the honor of sitting down with this remarkable and extraordinary young lady who's inspired not just St. Lucia, the Caribbean, as well as the world. By now, most people are familiar with her remarkable achievements. But what about Julian? What about what drives her? What are her interests? What are her dreams after athletics? So we know she's a world champion. We know she's also an Olympic medalist, a proud daughter of St. Lucia soil, whose discipline, determination, and deep pride for her roots has led her to the world stage. But tonight's conversation goes deeper. It goes beyond the medals, beyond the world records. We want to get to know Julian, the woman behind the sprint, and explore her vision behind the Julien Alfred Foundation and what she hopes to achieve. Julian, thank you for sitting down with us this evening.
Thank you for having me, and good evening to all of you as well.
Can you hear us all well? Okay, wonderful. So we can get the conversation started. And Julian, we'll go back to your youth. You know, growing up in Saint Lucia, you've made history for the Caribbean. You've made history for your beloved Saint Lucia. Before the medals and the spotlight, who was Julian growing up in Castries?
So I grew up in a tiny community of Cicero, and just this young girl who was in the yard running around. Whenever my mom would go to work, I would be on the road like early in the morning. But I attended the Cicero daycare. Then I went to Cicero Primary School, and from there I went to Leon Secondary School. And then unfortunately I left Saint Lucia at a pretty early age.
Okay. So anything stands out in your memory from Saint Lucia before leaving?
I have so many good memories in Cicero, I would say. We have this area, there was the Georgetown Secondary School, and there was a bunch of fat poke trees. I'm not sure if I'm not sure if everybody knows what the fat poke is. So we call it fat poke land, and there were rivers down there as well. So we would always be there like every single day. So I'll be there with my cousins, my friends, and until one day our parents caught us down there because we did go down there without permission. But I would definitely say that's my best memory. Sorry.
Okay, thank you for sharing that. So it gives us a little insight into you growing up as a child. But certainly your aspirations led you to leave St. Lucia and taking it away from the athletics. There was an educational journey. Tell us about what you were studying in secondary school and then what led you to pursue your degree.
So in secondary school, my main interest was really in technical drawing and building. Unfortunately, that shifted once I got to college. I think the balance between athletics and education was just difficult, and I had to switch to psychology. I wanted to pursue psychology because I wanted to give back to the youth of St. Lucia, because I realized the importance of having a sports psychologist at a very early age. And I realized, okay, psychology is hard. So let's go to something else. I thought about counseling as well. And then I switched again.
Okay, so you've been pivoting, which is
yes.
the buzzword these days.
Most definitely. But I think my main goal was to just have a major that I can also give back to the youth of St. Lucia, and hence why I started studying youth and community studies, which led me to create the Julien Alfred Foundation.
Okay, excellent. So, I mean, when you started out, you probably didn't think you'd lead to this point.
No.
No, not at all, just helping out. So, the fact that you had sports, athletics, and balancing that with your education, how did you, or at what point did you realize that, you know what, this athletics can do something? I can take it further.
At a very early age, I realized, you know, I had a great talent that God blessed me with. And just joining a club with triathlete survivors at the age of 9 is just something that I just gave my all into until my dad passed away in 2013, where I left the sport for a little bit. And then I realized that if I continue, I can, you know, do great things. Hence why I took the opportunity to go to Jamaica in 2015. Making that youth sacrifice at a young age was something that was really hard for me. So just realizing the talent that I had, which led to me making sacrifices, and of course it came with hardships as well. And then from Jamaica, I went to University of Texas with Edric Floria, which I'm still at now. But I just think that throughout this journey, I think there were different points in my life that I realized that it's definitely for me. Even when I left the sport for a little bit, you know, having people around me who also supported me throughout that time it just showed me that that's where I belong.
Okay, great. So everything sort of worked out in a way that you wouldn't have necessarily expected it to. Just
Right.
a question that came to mind, the choice of where to move to. So you left St. Lucia, why not go to Trinidad or maybe go directly to the States? You went to Jamaica. Is that something you'd like to share?
Yes, actually, I was in Trinidad competing for Saint Lucia as well at CAC Games, where I won. And I was approached by the managers of the Jamaican team who asked me, do you want to come to Jamaica? And of course, we know Jamaica, they're the land of sprint. And we have Usain Bolt, we have Sharon Fraser-Price, Elaine Thompson. And at that time, being an athlete who's just so interested in like the idols or, those who came before you, I wanted to go to a place where I felt like I could become my best self, and I took the opportunity and ran with it.
Okay, excellent. So it's good that you were able to capitalize on those opportunities that presented themselves. So kudos to you.
Thank you.
Okay, and the support team as well that played that role. So taking it a bit off the track, who's Julian off the track? Tell us a bit about you. How would you describe yourself?
That's a good question. Look, I feel like I am a very private person in that sense that, not many get to see because all I share is just my track and field life. However, I'm really somebody who's just down to earth. I love spending time with my family, my friends, because they're the people who really keep me together and keep me sane when I'm not competing. And fun fact, I never mix track and field and family together. We have a rule that they don't ask me anything about track and field. They don't discuss track and field at all, which helps me find a balance between, having my own identity with them and the person that I am on the track is not the person that I am with them. So I'll definitely say I'm a really grounded person who just loves spending time with their family. I can be calm, I can be a little fun sometimes, if music is playing or not, but I think that I'm a really down-to-earth person.
Okay, great. You know what? In that answer you provided, you've answered 2 questions for me. So that's really good. But in terms of traveling, the global attention, the fame, how do you remain that private person and remain stable and steady?
Something that keeps me grounded, that not many, I haven't shared, I think is my fear of God. And I talk about faith a lot, but I feel like I never want to get too high because it's a long way down, and I don't want to take that fall whatsoever. Like I haven't reached it. I don't want that fall. So I try to like remain balanced, not get too high, not get too low. But like I said, having family and people around me who keeps me grounded and who help me realize that hey, you were once here before, and just not feel like you're better than the next person because what God gives can also take. So I think that just remaining stable with God and having people, a great support team around me who keeps me grounded and to just never let me get too high, I think that's what's really important to me.
Okay, excellent. Thanks for sharing that personal insight. So it gives us a little picture into you as that private person. Now, to become successful, we have to have discipline. There's a lot of discipline. That's the thing that everyone struggles with, right? We can all relate to that. So what are some of those daily habits or routines that you'd like to share with us that influenced your success today?
I'm somebody who loves structure. I think my agent Henry can definitely tell you that. I need to know everything like down to the T, what's going to happen, who's going to be there. I just think that that's just how I function. And I just think having people around me, like having an assistant maybe who's there to like help me during all that time. But I'm somebody, I also have a fear of failure as well. Because I feel like there's something that's going to come in the way of me getting what I want, which is to be the best athlete ever. I tend to stay away from it. I mean, I will have cheat meals here and there, like you can have a cookie. But I would definitely say just finding balance in between what's good and what's not good, and just I always remember what I want in life, and if there's something that's going to help me get off track, that I just try to stay away from it as much as possible.
Okay, good. Thanks for sharing that. Now, so we've seen those little tidbits into the person that Julian is of the track and what keeps her balanced. Being an Olympic medalist for Saint Lucia, there is this national pride, the opportunity to say that, to showcase that you come from this island in the Caribbean. How has that helped to determine your sense of pride, your sense of purpose as an individual, as an athlete?
For me, talking about Saint Lucia comes naturally, just because I'm just really proud of where I'm from. Again, I have to say thanks to tourism for allowing me to be an ambassador, and I think that's just something that comes naturally to me. Whenever I get interviewed and I'm asked about Saint Lucia, I'm always happy because I'm just proud of my home. But I definitely say that, like I said, it's just something that just comes naturally. When it comes to my identity as well, I would say that the way that I carry myself really matters even more now, knowing that I'm not just representing Julian or Humor, I'm representing an entire nation. So allowing myself to be mindful of what I do, who I'm around, so I definitely say that it has definitely shaped just my mindfulness.
Okay, great. So we've gotten a lot of insights in those earlier questions. And one of the major outputs of this conversation is your foundation. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Okay.
What inspired you to start the foundation? What's the mission? Tell us about it.
So, like I mentioned earlier on, I wanted to give back to the youth of the country, and actually, when I signed to Puma, that was something I really asked for, is will I be able to give back to my country? Will I be able to give back to my foundation? Because I also believe in giving back. What God has blessed me with, I want to be able to share that as well, because I have people around me who have poured into me. We have Ruben Spencer, one of our national athletes, a high jumper, who gave back to me as well. When she was signed to a brand Mizuno, she gave me some sneakers, she gave me some spice, she gave me some gears at the time. And also another national athlete like Makiba Alfred, who attended Arkansas as well, gave me spikes as well. And then we have my childhood coach, Von Modest, who gave to me as well. I think there are so many people around me who have given back to me as well. And it's important for me to give back to the future generation, of our country. And it's just something I want to do in life. It's my passion, giving back, helping others to get to where they want to go. And like the Julien Alfred Foundation is to helping the youth of the country through education and sports. I think they go hand in hand. And there may be some people who may not like sports, who may need help with education, and there may be people who just need help with both at the exact same time. So the Julien Alfred Foundation is really giving back to the youth of the country through education and sports.
Okay, all right. So it's good to have insights on the specifics of what the foundation will be doing. So when you speak to education, is that education in secondary school, primary school? What level of education?
I think secondary school and primary school, and of course, but once we're done with secondary school or even like A-level, some people may need help going abroad and trying to, go to university, which I think is important as well. So I think that also supporting the younger generation to that as well, getting to university.
Okay, good. Good information. So taking away from what you just said, in the people around you helped. So they offered you support, so now you're paying it forward. Why a foundation? You could have gone to an organization within Saint Lucia, or maybe to a community or an individual. Why form a foundation to do that?
Right. I do things personal. However, I would like to mention those around me and having a great support system who can also help bring my vision to life. I mean, it's not just me who wants to help, but I think that having a foundation in itself allow more persons who can't do it individually to also pour into my foundation, so I can also pour into the future generation of the nation.
Okay, great. So you're creating a bit of a legacy, we should say. So in terms of the work of the foundation, is there an experience or a story so far that you'd like to share on how the foundation has helped Saint Lucia or communities in Saint Lucia?
Well, I launched the foundation last year, April, right after I won World Indoors, and we've been trying to figure it out as much as possible. Last year, we were able to host a Christmas party at Sister Primary School, my alma mater, and I think that I wanted to start small, giving gifts to the younger generation and just seeing them happy. I mean, some children in Cicero, that might be their only Christmas gift, and I felt like just seeing children happy. I mean, which child would not want a Christmas gift or gift in general, just to feel happy around that time of the year, and I felt like that was the best way to start giving back to them that way.
Okay, great. And what better way than starting with your alma mater? So you're sending a message, something that's closer to your heart,
Right.
and also gives you an opportunity to see how the foundation works. So just to learn a little bit more about the foundation in terms of funding and sustainability, if someone wanted to donate to the foundation, whether they be at home or abroad, how can they do that?
So we have an account at First National Bank that people can make donations to. I also have a jewelry line as well that people can purchase. There's a link. You can also ask my agent about the link that you can purchase. There's jewelry at Sanders Grand in one of the stores that you can also purchase, but that funding also goes into the foundation as well.
Okay, wonderful. So you've created partnerships in order to ensure sustainability. But another question that I believe most people would have is the process of, two questions rather. One, if someone wanted to apply to access funding from the foundation, what would that process look like? Would you be able to share that?
We're still deciding that as of now. I think that it's a slow process where my agents and also the board members are still trying to figure that right now.
Okay, all right. So it's something that we're coming. So if somebody wants to find out a little bit more about the foundation, is there a website they can visit?
We're also doing that right now.
They're working on that right now. Okay, all right, excellent. So definitely stay close to the space and follow Julien Alfred to find out more about the foundation. So thanks so much for sharing that insight on the foundation and giving us an opportunity to learn more about the mission and how we can all help and encourage others to help. Now, sometimes we don't think about the things we do and the effects it has. You're a role model. You're now a leader. Did you ever think about that?
No.
No, not.
I think it still feels surreal to me, especially as I look back at the pictures. It's heartwarming to just see that you just never know the true impact that you have on others. And whenever I do get a chance to go back to Saint Lucia, the way that I see children are just so happy to see me. And I don't think I ever sat down to really think about the impact I've had on them by just me being myself and doing what I love to do, which is showing up on the track and winning. But then I think that being a beacon of hope for them, saying that if Julian can do it, that I can do it too. And I think that it really gives me motivation to get back on the track to, be and even like motivation for them, I would say.
Okay, all right, excellent. So moving on to another question about symbol and responsibility. What are some of the biggest, maybe we'll make it 3, lessons that you've learned along your journey that you'd like to share on becoming a successful athlete?
Lessons?
Yeah, some of the things you've learned.
Wow.
Big question.
It is.
Okay, so as you contemplate that, we can move on to another question. And if you feel that you want to share later on, then we can come back to it. Yeah?
Okay.
All right. So every great story has moments of challenge. Is there any challenge that you faced you'd like to share, and how did you overcome that challenge?
Lessons and challenges.
Yeah, I know. They're linked in some way, right? Yes.
A huge challenge that I've had, obviously injuries. I would say injuries have really impacted my journey, so far in my career, and even this year at World Championships, where I had a chance of winning and it just didn't go how I wanted it to. But it's just really how life works, that things don't always go the way that you want it to. Another challenge, that I've had is just the mental aspect of it, and I'm a huge advocate for mental health. I think that getting on the track. Okay, let's get personal. It's something that is really is challenging, and sometimes when you have all eyes on you, it can really allow you to freeze. And social media is something that has a huge impact on people's mental health as well. To the point where I had to fully detach this year from social media because it has really impacted my mental health, how I think about myself, and just how the world sees me. And it has allowed me to put so much pressure whenever I get on the track that what's going to be said about me? Am I doing the right things? Am I going to be criticized? Like, once the race is done, I'm thinking, I hope they're proud. I hope. So the mental aspect of things and getting on the track, I think that's my biggest challenge. Until my coach has said to me today, not today, right after Tokyo, go home and just relax. Go home and just detach on everything and go back to your roots. And which I did. I was able to spend 3 weeks. I'm going to get emotional. I able to spend 3 weeks in Saint Lucia where I got a chance to just really be Julian and really get a chance to be with my family, my loved ones, and enjoy, of course, our beautiful island and just be home.
And be yourself.
But I would say the mental aspect of it has been my biggest challenge.
Okay, so if you want to share, how have you been, besides, taking that time away, it's something that you will continue to face. So what strategies, if you would like to share, that you've developed to manage that kind of engagement?
So I have a great support team. I would say, like Henry Roll, I have my coach, I have my family, my friends. I don't mix them, but I mean, they have a sense of when something is really troubling me, like on the track as well. And I have a psychologist that I work with at Texas, and I have a life coach. So I have multiple people or resources around me that I could use to really help me get past that. But I would be honest and say, when it's just you on the 4 walls, in a room, it's different. When you're all alone with your thoughts and all people say about you, what you see online, it's just crippling in, and that's all you can think about. You got to figure out a way within yourself to manage it. And something that I try to do is just stay off social media and just really talk to my family to let me detach from what people are saying about me and just realize that I'm loved by my family no matter what's said about me, like online.
Okay, all right, thanks. I could feel, the emotions as you share that. And it's really good that you've been able to identify that support team and build a network that can help you stay grounded. So those are really good principles for everyone to apply. Now, there are things that we do for success. There are lots of young people around, whether they want to be athletes, business people, creators, innovators. What message would you send to a young person who wants to accomplish these types of goals? What are some of the things they should bear in mind? We'll keep it to 3 to, enumerate.
I would say that they should be resilient. Like I said, the challenges that come with it, you will face the hardships in your career, in your journey, getting to where you want to be. I would say to them, but I also say to myself right now, to have fun. Have fun and to not lose track of that, because once you stop having fun, that's when it becomes pressure. I think that's a goal I have for myself this year. No matter what, just have fun, because that's something that you love doing when you're younger. And as soon as it turns to something else,
then you're no longer interested.
Exactly. So I want to just go back to the Julian who really enjoyed track and field. So I say to them to just have fun during the process.
Okay, great. Those are really beautiful reflections of, who you are, and also their principles that everyone can apply, not just athletes. So thanks so much for sharing that. So we've done the heavy lifting already. The time seems to have gone by rather quickly, I must say. So I'm enjoying this conversation. But to take away from the heavy lifting, we're going to have a little bit of a quick fire fun section. So to let us all know a little bit more about Julian. So, favorite St. Lucian dish or comfort food?
I think I'll stick to our local dish, Brazilian saltfish. I'll just keep it simple. Comfort food? I don't think I'm that complicated, actually. So I'll just stick to pizza.
Pizza?
I'll stick to that.
Okay, that's a good one. So, I mean, when you're getting ready for your race, we see you with your headphones, you know, you're in the zone. What is that pump up song to get you ready?
I think you all know by now. Down Proud Lucian is probably my favorite song. So I listen to that Down Proud Lucian more than ever, to be quite honest. But also some soca music. I mean, being from the Caribbean, soca is a must. And if not, if I'm feeling nervous, I'll listen to gospel.
Okay.
So there's no particular genre that I listen to.
So there's a variety, you know, whatever the mood is for the day.
Whatever it is, I'll listen to it at the time.
Okay. All right, great. Now, a mantra, a phrase, something that you know you say to yourself that you live by.
Yeah, I have. Well, I listened to this speaker called Les Brown, and something that he said in one of his speeches was that no matter how hard it is or how hard it gets, I'm going to make it. And that's something that I've had in my notes. So every morning it pops up as a reminder. You know, I say to myself, like every single day, that no matter how hard it is, how hard it gets, I'm going to make it. So I try to like live by that. And whenever I face the challenges, no matter what it is, at some point in time, I'll make it.
Okay, excellent. That's a really good mantra to live by. I think we can all put that as a pop-up now. So we learned some new tips on how we can, you know, put our quotes into our phones. So if you had trouble or you had a post-it somewhere, now we can put a reminder. Yes? All right, now, a hidden talent or a fun fact. No hidden talent.
Talent?
Oh, we didn't speak about that.
I'm still finding that out.
Yes, still exploring.
I wish I could sing, to be honest.
Yeah.
I wish I can't.
So we'll have to look for a vocal coach, right?
Yes.
Yes. So
anybody.
So anybody who have connections, you need to help Julian. All right. So dream vacation destination.
I don't have one in particular. I don't have. I mean,
an area,
the region for sure. I do want to visit multiple Caribbean islands. I mean, I have a habit of comparing it to Saint Lucia. I mean, I'll be biased to say we're the best so far. But I do have this goal of trying to explore different Caribbean islands and just see their culture and what they have to offer us.
Okay, yes, because you have to see it to compare, right? And then you need to start to build a list to back up your backer to support, right?
So far, Saint Lucia is the best.
Okay, all right. So the last question under there. If you could describe Saint Lucia in one word, what would that be?
I think we use beautiful so many different times.
Yeah.
Quite often, beautiful Saint Lucia, simply beautiful. I would say majestic. Majestic. I think that's what we have to offer. Our landscape, people as well. Our people in Saint Lucia, I would definitely say majestic. I just think that just sums up Saint Lucia in general.
Okay, wonderful. And we always use majestic with the Peters. So
There we go.
what better way, right? Okay, so thank you so much for sharing these insights and allowing us to learn a lot more about you and to learn about your foundation. Didn't she do an excellent job?
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much. So now, it's your opportunity to ask Julian a question.
Good evening. My name's Gilbert George. I'm first generation St. Lucian. I was going to ask a question in regards to the demands that's put on you, being an elite athlete, and what coping techniques do you have to cope with the various demands that you have, both in your training, competing, and also all the publicity that you attract because of your status?
So something, I'm not sure if my agent is here. He's back there.
Probably hiding somewhere. Yeah.
So, like I mentioned earlier on, I have such an amazing support system who help me balance track and field and then my other obligations such as tourism as well, and for Puma whenever I have press conferences. So I think having a great team who knows me, who knows Julian, who knows what I would like and what I would not like, and helps me manage. I mean, I'm sure my agent gets so many emails a day, so he will know Julian would not like that, or she'll be interested in that. So I think having an amazing team who just knows Julian and what I can take on, I can't take on much, to be honest, because it can be so much. I'm just so focused on track and feel that I can't forget what got me here. So I think having an amazing team that just helps me balance that.
Good evening. My name's Eartha Pond. I'm from the ESP Foundation. I'm also from Saint Lucia, from my father. Firstly, I want to say thank you. Thank you for sharing these insights that we wouldn't get to see online, but for being open and honest. I think from the talk, it shows that you're carrying a lot. 180,000 people are depending on you on the island, but also here in the UK, we were also celebrating your win. So I really want to say thank you for that. I think the only question that I've got really that stood out was really about young people that came through in everything that you talked about. So if there was an unlimited pot, you had as much power as you can, what's the one thing that you'd implement for your foundation for young people?
Unlimited? I think as I speak about mental health, I think that having a psychologist or having somebody to work with the aspects, I know it can be very expensive. I mean, I have two, I would say I work with, and it can be very expensive. So I think having a mentor coach who can help the younger generation, because that's what I wanted to become at first. I wanted to become a sports psychologist to also help the younger athletes realize the importance of it. But I think I would definitely say to have a sports psychologist or just a psychologist on standby just to help the younger generation. So that's important.
Hi, Julian. You are simply inspiring, I would say. And thank you, for taking the time to come here and talk to us. You talked about your foundation, and my heart quickened when you talked about it. And you seem very passionate about it, and education as well. So the question I want to ask you is, how could the UK diaspora help you with the foundation? What are the things that we need to do? Because we want to give back. So how can we do that?
I will allow my agent to talk about it.
Good night. The foundation right now is in its final phase of really collectively putting itself together from a functional point of view. There is a group out of Canada, and we'll also entertain the group from the UK. I think once everything is put together and filtered down from the chairman all the way down to what her personal views are and something that aligns with her, then we're going to send out a message through the site and try to reach as many solutions, or not only solutions, but also individuals that really wants to embody her, I would say, her in line with her goals and some of the things she wants to share with others. Then she talks about people that have reached out. There are people that have reached out all the way from Africa. In fact, we just politely turned down an invitation to go to Ghana for a week. And, they wanted to honor her. And simply the time just isn't there. And also, she's got invited to be an ambassador for Mumbai for their marathon. So it's kind of bearing. So what we're going to do now is try to enable the foundation to allow people to partner with Julien Alfred through the foundation and support it that way. And we think that will be a bigger umbrella to reach more people and support. Sometimes we don't want to make it look like we're simply ignoring somebody or disrespecting them or so forth, but she's only one person, so we think the foundation will create a bigger umbrella to somehow reach out. I know there's a very big supportive group here in South Florida. It's a very big supportive group here in the UK, and we would hope to partner with them and maybe have a satellite office here for the foundation and in Florida, and where those people can be a part of it.
Hi, Julian. Roderick. I'm Roderick Lynch. I've been involved in business and sport for a number of years, and there's some sports people in this room. As a father, I've always told my child, said to my son, and those around me, that study a book, dancing, running, foolishness, because I did it myself, and so many people are by the wayside. When you come to the crossroads of life, as a young person, 17, 18, there's a choice. Your book or sport, you chose sport and you excelled at it. But at the back of your mind, what would you say to young people that are at that crossroads? Would you say to them, unless you're 99.9% certain you reach that goal, or would you say to them, study your book first?
I did both, actually. I went to university. I have a bachelor's in youth and community studies, and I am a bit against that. I think that children should have a balance in between, leisure time and education. I know in the Caribbean we believe in your books only, and I am somebody, I had a chance to balance both. I think it also helps you remain disciplined as well, and to learn how to balance different responsibilities in life. And I mean, I won't say even now because I've already graduated. So I had the chance of doing both academics, education, and sports at the exact same time. So I'm a bit opposed to what you say, and I mean, I respect your values and how you parent as well. But I think children should be able to learn how to balance both the academics and sports. I think it gives them leeway to learn themselves and to have responsibility and also have discipline as well.
Hi, my name's Edward Flood. I grew up in Derry, so again, thank you for coming here and not just sharing your skill with us, but sharing part of you as well. So really value that. I was wondering about motivation and drive, because we see you at this part of your journey, the complete picture that we see. I know you say that you still have further to go. But of course, we weren't there during those years, those lonely years, leaving Saint Lucia, going abroad, leaving your family and friends, and the challenges that you spoke about. So just wondering, what was your motivation? What was your drive during all that time to get you to this point?
Oh. My motivation, I would say my family. We struggled financially growing up, and I also learned that would be a great opportunity for me to help my family growing up. And obviously, it's not always about financial as well, but I would definitely say being the best athlete and wanting to create a legacy for myself and to stand out. And something that I want to do is collect as many medals and have many accolades that I possibly can before I decide to hang up my spikes. So I definitely say my motivation, one, my family, trying to help them as much as possible. And I also have nephews who look up to me as well. So I mean, before it was just about myself, but also realizing that the younger generation, also my nephew, who really looks up to me, I want to be able to, I won't say be a standard, but to be an inspiration to him as well. So whenever I step on the track, just realizing that there are people watching me and hoping to do well or even better than me. And I think that that's where motivation comes from even now, even after winning the Olympic gold.
Hello. How you doing? I hope you're okay. Hello, everyone. My name's Cinny. As you can tell by my accent, I was born over here in England. But I'm half and half St. Lucian, half Guyanese. Very proud of both sides. Just wanted to pick up with your foundation. Just wanted to know whether you've kind of explored the avenues of what you're going to be doing in terms of working with children with autism and SEND?
As yet, to be quite honest, but it's something that I could also speak to my team about as well.
Thank you for your insights. I was just saying, being the age that you are and being able to sit there and answer all these questions, I take my hat that I don't have on off to you. So I'm Sasha. I work alongside Urfa with the ESP Foundation. If not athletics, what would you be doing right now?
Architecture.
Architecture.
I would say that. I loved technical drawing and building, and something actually is a goal of mine that I want to go back to school to study architecture whenever it's all said and done, or even Mexico's willing, but I would definitely say architecture.
Thaddeus Antoine, we see you applying lip gloss, particularly just before you race. 2 questions. Does it give you comfort, or what does it give you at all? And secondly, what brand of lip gloss do you use?
Should I put some on now? Now I'm very conscious of if I have lip gloss on or not. But it provides comfort. I think it makes me feel good as well. A brand that I use is Fenty. I'm a huge Fenty beauty fan. And I also use, I think we were also talking about the one that went viral, the silver one. It's called Edam. So I think I use different ones. Like every time I go to Sephora, go to the store, I collect maybe like 5 lip glosses that I also lose every single time. But I would say Fenty is my favorite. That's the one I apply mostly.
Ronald? Thank you. Boo. I just want to ask Julian, do you remember my conversation with you at Big Chef when I told you what would happen to your life?
I don't remember.
Okay, all right. I'll remind you at some point, right? But I still have the picture, though. So here's my question. In the industry I'm in, at the highest level, it can become very, I want to be careful, it can become very dangerous. And I often have to say to young people, be careful what level you want to get to in this music industry, because there are a lot of ills. Have you ever had to be advised as to how you should deal with the level you're operating at now? So, example, if I go to the Grammys, there's a lot of things I can see, and I have to know that, listen, don't go there, don't go to this party, don't do this, don't do that. At your level now where you are, have you ever experienced being enough to be told, nah, let's not go there, let's not do that? That sort of thing.
I think I have a level of discernment. I know that I shouldn't be in particular areas. However, I would say that I have a great team around me. Again, great support system. I'm not sure if we're thinking the same right now, but I have a praying grandmother as well who's supporting me. I pray myself. I am a woman of God, so I don't think that, I mean, there is evil, there is mal in this world, but I don't think that there's much to be afraid of. And of course, having that level of discernment and having a great team around me, I would definitely still lean on to them. That definitely helps me be safe.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like you to keep putting your hands together for Julien Alfred. I believe it has been a real wonderful evening, intimate as we hoped it would be, and revealing in many respects. You are not yet done. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yes. So I will hand over to Miss St. Denis for a short while again.
Okay. So thank you, audience, for such wonderful questions, very focused, and I'm certain that everyone had really great takeaways from those questions. Yes? No? Okay. All right. Excellent. Julian, thank you for not just sharing your story, but your spirit and a bit about yourself. You went beyond the medals, beyond the tracks. And you also showed us that greatness is not just about success, but your ability to give back and to pay it forward. On behalf of everyone here, whether it be in sports, business, community, or the public service, thank you. And we extend wishes for continued success in Olympics, in championships, and more importantly, with the mission of the Julien Alfred Foundation.
Thank you so much. So thank you for having me.
You're most welcome.
And ladies and gentlemen, it just leaves me with the simple task of thanking you all for being here this evening. As I was saying, it is a really wonderful evening, intimate, an opportunity to share with Julian those things that she has not shared with others. And I just wish to thank her again and to thank all of you for being here. And the socialization continues. Thank you very much.